Hi guys, ArchieLuxury on the ArchieLuxury channel. Today guys, I would like to make a little confession to my audience there. And I want to tell you, I am 49 years old, and ever since I was 18, I have carried a balance on my credit card. I think I've possibly had no balance on my card for less than 6 months in that period of time. Now, many of you people out there will say that's madness, it's crazy, it's ridiculous. And it probably is to a large extent. But I've also used my credit cards to help me leverage and gear up and get things done. I've got to be honest with you, credit cards are quite an expensive form of consumer credit. And myself being in my second marriage there, having to pay maintenance, sometimes we needed to use a few resources that wouldn't have been easy to tap into. Credit cards have provided that avenue for me to tap in a few resources. Now, I've got to be totally honest with you. Credit cards themselves they are not really what you should be using. Credit cards, they're a nasty, it's a mug's game. Credit cards, we can get into serious trouble if we're not careful. Credit cards, as Dave Ramsey would say, it's like messing with snakes for the middle class. And I do tend to agree with him. However, I used credit cards to build my YouTube business. I started my YouTube channel in 2009. And this was when I was into my second marriage. Money was always fairly tight. I started the business specializing in luxury goods, luxury items, luxury goods, like this Rolex, for example. And I was relatively, there weren't that many watch channels around, and you know, you can't run a watch channel with one Rolex, an Omega, and a handful of shitters. So I went out in the day and used credit to be able to expand my channel. It allowed me to buy luxury items like this Louis Vuitton hard-sided briefcase. It allowed me to buy a number of wristwatches, including 2 Patek Philippe's. That's right, guys. I had 2 Pateks in the Archie 5. And I got to be totally honest with you. You know, the old saying, fake it till you make it. Well, I've got to be honest with you. I bought second-hand goods at good prices. I always had belief. I did pay a lot of interest, however. Yes, I did. However, I secured most of the money at the cheapest rates. I always went for the low-rate credit cards. But still, it was double interest payments, double-figure interest. But I got to tell you, it helped me get a stock of luxury goods. Without that, I couldn't get the credibility. I wouldn't get the subscribers or the viewers. So, in many ways, credit cards were they were a means for me to grow my channel. And I've got to tell you, when I went full-time finally in 2014, I did have some substantial loans outstanding, credit cards, personal loans, because I'd even refinanced the car to get money to be able to buy luxury goods for my channel. But you know, the good thing about having good assets is that you can sell them off and clear the credit card debts. So I got to tell you, I did proceed to do that. From 2014, I sold off a number of pieces and I reduced the borrowings that I had. I tackled the higher interest products firstly, paying them out and canceling them. I've always been a bit addicted to consumer credit, so when I would make a payment, a substantial payment, say a couple $1,000s, I would lower my limits because the temptation for me to buy something else was pretty strong. And over the time, I've now managed to be in a position where I've significantly reduced the number of credit cards and the limit. I now only have one credit card with a $10,000 limit. And my wife has one credit card with a $12,000 or $11,500 limit. Not including the free interest-free, a couple of free interest-free cards that we've got for some pay-as-you-go type products, furniture, solar, air conditioning, a few little things like that. But that's good debt, not bad credit card debt, because it's interest-free. Mind you, they hit you with a hefty monthly servicing fee of about $5 to $10 a month, plus every time I make a payment on some of these products, they can charge me as much as 95 cents to accept a payment. Ooh, that hurts. But I've got to tell you, in all honesty, credit cards themselves are only, it depends what you're buying. If you're buying absolute crap, it can be a problem. But if you're buying items that have a bit of value, it's not as bad. So I faked it till I made it. Credit cards allowed me to expand my channel, whereas a lower middle class guy like myself would have no hope of having the scope of luxury goods I had without having some debt. So it allowed me to grow the channel. I was prepared to do that to grow the channel. When I went full-time, I narrowed down the collection and kept some, paid a lot off, and then grew it. So, credit cards, how do I feel about it? It's expensive money, but it is unsecured loan, and I think in many ways there it helped me grow the channel, whereas I wouldn't have been able to take advantage of opportunities that arrive. So credit cards have helped me. But the credit card cost is massive, massive. Low rate credit cards, 12.5%, 13, 14%. That is a ridiculous way to fund any sort of business. In fact, Warren Buffett, the super investor, he said it's very hard to make money when you're paying double figure interest payments. And he's basically saying anything above 9% makes it very hard to make a profit. So I gotta be totally honest with you. Credit cards have been something that's been in my life for a long time. It's funded a lot of it's funded many things that I wouldn't have been able to buy without without the credit facility. But as a product itself there, it's allowed me to try things that normally wouldn't be available. So I don't think credit cards are evil. People make stupid choices. Now in myself there, I gotta be honest with you, one of the great joys in life is having a paid off automobile. Paid off automobile. My Honda Civic, our Honda Civic, we bought that in 2014 and we paid it off. We had a 3-year loan actually. Three or 4 year. I just worked that out. Yeah, it was a 3-year loan. Wow, that was expensive. 3-year loan, we paid it off, and I gotta be totally honest with you, it was pretty good to get rid of that loan, 2017. Credit cards, I've had a few times I've almost paid the thing off. I've paid it off a number of times, and I kind of slipped. Slipped. Now, I really want to pay the cards off and walk away. That's what I'd like to do. Walk away from the credit card debt. That's what I'd like to do. I'd like to walk away from credit card debt because it's expensive money, and although it allowed me to achieve certain things, I don't know whether it's the best way to move forward. So credit cards themselves, love them or hate them? Well, I think they're a convenient thing. There's certainly good parts to them, but have to be used sensibly. Otherwise, you can get into big trouble. Credit cards themselves, credit cards. It may have worked for me, but you are playing with the snakes. You're playing with snakes. And if you play with snakes, you've got a higher chance of getting bitten. It's worked out okay for me. I'm in the final stretch. Pay the buggers out. Walk away. That'll be the best way to handle it. Be careful with credit cards. It did help me grow my channel. I'm going to still keep a credit card in case the AD rings me to say they got a Daytona at retail, or a Pepsi at retail. I'd love to grab one, but that may not be that easy. Credit cards. There you go. That's my confession. Tell me what you think, guys. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.